Hello guys, Flashlight Enthusiast here. Today I would like to review of the Wizard C2 Pro, which is actually the predecessor of the Wizard V3, which was a well-known Armytek superb headlamp flashlight. Alright, so as you can see the box actually changed. It has more like black with the old logo here. I've got a old box of Wizard Pro V3 Nietzsche here for a comparison. So as you can see, a bit redesigned. Also some less engraving here. Okay, so we've got the specs here. Feel free to pause the video if you like to take a closer look. Let's see what's inside. Actually, I opened this up for you, not to waste your time. Actually, while I was recording previously, I actually burned my eyes because I got so enthusiastic about this. I can talk about this flashlight really all day, guys. So I'd like to take it brief for you. Alright, so what we've got here, we've got a nice head strap. Actually, another comparison with the old one. As you can see, it's more like orange and black, and the old one is a bit more yellowish, and also it has this Born to Exceed Armytek logo and motto on the side. And the new one actually has only Armytek logo here and more like orange color to it, but the build quality actually stays the same, which is top notch, expected from the Armytek. Alright, so apart from head strap, you get obviously the flashlight itself, which is nicely protected from the factory, not to get the scratches on this matte finish. Alright, but we will get to this beast later. Apart from that, you can see the nice pocket clip and a set of two spare O-rings. Alright. You should notice that Armytek is famous for their waterproofness, and it actually uses double O-ring for the tail cap, which I will show you later. Alright. Apart from that, we've got magnetic charging cable, which again is a redesigned version, V3, as you can see here. Is not only white, but the profile is different, in V3 they also added another LED for showing you the charging status. Alright, so they actually provide you with this yellow leaflet that is attached on the cable for the first time. So actually, as you can see, it has red, green and orange indicator, and the orange signals either bad contact or half charging current. Green obviously fully charged, and red either charging when it's solid, and when it's blinking it means unscrew the tail cap, man. Alright, so it's nicely attached to the cable for the first time. I just don't need it anymore. Alright, apart from the cable, we also get bicycle mount, which is a nice addition, because in previous editions like Wizard V3 you had to buy it separate. You'd like to attach your Wizard flashlight to your bicycle handlebar, and now it's in the price. Very nice high quality plastic. As you can see, the additional O-ring to secure your flashlight here. Right, nice addition, good job Armytek. And the last piece you have is some M3 tape, which you can actually use for a solid helmet mount. If you do not like to use a head strap and attach it to helmet, you can actually buy it separately, the mounting, but you have some tape to attach it in the set, so it's very nice. Alright, coming back to the flashlight, obviously the quality didn't change with the comparing to the previous model. It's still very nice characteristic for Armytek, this matte finish anodization, which gets pretty easily, you know, all the scratches you get. So with this head strap, it is easily attached with this plastic mount, and actually it sits pretty firm here, but if you like additional security, you can always use this very stiff o-ring to secure it here on the underside. Alright, so now it's like double security, but obviously it rotates easily, but again you get these scratches, as you can see here. The anodization gets a little bit damaged, but obviously it's only the aesthetic side and it does not affect the functionality of the flashlight in any way. Alright guys, let me take this to the side and show you the operations. So you got this two manual with your package, so it's very nice to actually get all the modes of the wizard written in one sheet of paper. And as you can see, we have additional turbo mode compared to Wizard V3. Alright, so not only did they improve the efficiency with the same LED, which is 3xHP 50.2, but they also included the second or the third actually turbo mode. Right, so here we go. These are the specs. Pause the video if you like to take a closer look. And now, as you can see, all the turbo modes actually are more like momentary. As you can see, turbo 3 is only for 30 seconds and will step down to 605 lumens. The same for turbo mode, which will shine for 2 minutes and then again step down to 605 lumens. And turbo 1 with 810 lumens will step down eventually after 9 minutes again to 605 lumens. And as you can see, the overall runtime is pretty much impressive, almost 3 hours. But again, bear in mind that in this type of flashlight you would like to have increased runtime, because it's not the flashlight that you will use, you know, to illuminate the darkness just for a short amount of time, but you will actually use it to illuminate your path when you are jogging, when you are, I don't know, riding a bike or hiking. So you need the longest amount of light in a small package, which is lightweight, and actually the Wizard achieves that. Alright guys, just let me compare it to the V3 version. Actually it's the limited edition because I don't have the warm white Wizard V3 anymore, but I've got the limited edition with Nietzsche LED. But it looks the same, but it just shares the different LED inside. So as you can see, the labeling changed. Alright, we don't have the Wizard logo here anymore. Also in V3 version you have these engravings here, which Nietzsche does not have, but they are a bit different. And that's pretty much it. You know, the switch is bigger on the V4, which is actually easier to locate in the dark, and the cooling fins actually are a bit wider, but they are only 2 instead of 4. The height of the flashlight actually stayed the same, right? Let me align that for you. So actually the height of the flashlight is the same, but the head of the new Wizard is a little bit bigger. As you can see here, the lens is bigger also. And actually the angle that the switch is at, it's a little bit different to, you know, enable you faster operation when it's on your head, to locate it in dark and be more convenient when you're shining ahead of you, so that the switch is actually at the bottom of the flashlight and not just rotated somehow, which is the same as you can see here. Yeah, when the flashlight is pointed forward, the switch should be at the top of the flashlight, right? Or at the bottom if you prefer to use it that way. Your choice. Alright, so inside the flashlight, another improvement, as we can see here. Obviously look at the double O-rings. I remind you, this is 10 meters water submersible, which is fantastic. Alright, we get from the factory the highest possible capacity of 18650, which is 3500 mAh. Of course, it's not an Armytek cell. Inside we have Samsung 35E, which is capable of delivering 8 amps, which is pretty sufficient. Alternatively, you can use Sanyo GA 18650 battery, which is capable of 10 amps, but as you can see, the Armytek chose to use Samsung cell, which is perfectly fine. These are very good quality cells, and they will do just fine in this flashlight. Another improvement compared to previous generations is that it uses the spring at the bottom of the battery tube, which helps to you know, compensate the shock. If you just hit the flashlight, it won't lose contact as easily as it would with the flat surface of the contact in previous generations of the Wizard. Also, the spring is thicker and gold plated, I must say. So actually, compared to other Wizards, the spring was actually a bit thinner, and as you can see, it wasn't gold plated. So another improvement here, Armytek, good job. Alright, let's see how it shines. Alright, remember to screw it tight. Let's look at this manual. Alright, so we've got 4 groups of operations. We've got Firefly, we've got main, we've got turbo section and strobe section. Alright, so with a single switch we can access all of them actually. So when you hold the button from off, it goes straight into the lowest Firefly one, which is 0.14 lumens for 200 days. That is awesome. Right, hold the button to cycle through main 2, Firefly 2 and 3, sorry. 1, 2, 3. So this is the Firefly section. Alright, when you double tap, you go straight into the main section. Alright, so the main section consists of main 1, main 2 and main 3, which is, as you can see on this sheet of paper, 42, 149 and 344 lumens, and you cycle through them by holding the side switch. Main 1, main 2, main 3, main 1 again. Alright, to access Firefly, you double tap again and you go to Firefly section, actually to the last memorized mode that you left the Firefly section from. Alright, double tap again, so you double tap will cycle through main section to Firefly section. To access turbo section, you have to triple tap from whichever group you are in, 1, 2, 3, and you are in the turbo. Again, hold the side switch to cycle through turbo 1, turbo 2, turbo 3. Obviously the camera is adjusting, but as you can see, incremental changes. Double tap again to go to main section, double tap again to go into Firefly section, hold to cycle through, double tap main, triple tap turbo, and 1, 2, 3, 4 taps into strobe, hold the button to change the strobe mode, again hold the button to change the strobe, hold it, 1, 2, go to the main section again. Alright, let's see how it compares to the beloved Nichia LED. So as you can see here, Nichia is definitely more orange, but I have to tell you, I've tested it outside and I'm a bit of tint snob, I have to admit, and even Nichia has beautiful tint. I have to admit that this Cree XHP 50.2 LED that Armytek used inside this TRI optic has somehow beautiful tin, which is a bit unexpected because Cree is famous for the bad tins. And look at this. I mean, you can obviously see that Nietzsche is more rosy, but for a Cree LED, the choice was really excellent, Armytek, and I'm really impressed with the tint and the color of this LED light. Obviously you don't see any PWM, which is pulse width modulation. Simply means that the LED will flicker very fast frequencies, so you do not see it on any frequency. Alright, another feature of this Armytek is that you can actually, holding the button from the off position, you can actually cycle through almost every mode, just sequence by sequence. So look at that. You hold the button and keep holding 1, 2, 3, then main 1, main 2, main 3, turbo 1, and it's turbo 1, and again Firefly 1. So if you don't know which mode you left the flashlight in, you can always cycle from the lowest to turbo 1 without turning on the flashlight from the previous mode. Okay, the coating, as you can see, it's a bit different on the lens. It's anti-reflective coating, so that you will have less, losses of light. So as you can see, compared to Nietzsche, it's very green, but it does not affect the beam whatsoever. Alright guys, just let me take the sheet of paper and I will show you the beam angle and how it shines on a white paper. Alright? Alright, I've got a sheet of paper here. So let's go to the main one. Alright, so as you can see, it's white hotspot with actually no spill area. So it's basically because of this TIR optics, sorry guys, not my word. You've got the central beam focus and actually very smooth area here. Compared to Nietzsche, obviously you can see that Nietzsche has less green in tint, but actually that's what camera sees. But what I see with my naked eyes is that almost identical, with this Wizard V4 being even more rosier and pleasant to eye. One thing that you have to bear in mind is that the central area of the spot is very nice and rosy, but on the border of the spill you have a little bit of green, which is obviously the fault of this TR optics and this probably this space of white, as you can see here, that the TRI is a bit too big for the optics underneath of that. But that's nothing to worry about really. Another great feature of Wizards as a sort of flashlights is that you have this indicator underneath the switch, which does not change through the generations. As you can see here, when I click it turns red. Alright, every time I click it turns red. The same goes here in the previous Nietzsche edition. I generally miss the information, the manual about that, because in the previous generation Wizard it was actually written down that the green symbolized the good battery life and the low temperature of the driver. The orange would suggest that the battery is either depleted or the driver gets hit up quickly, and the red indicator would suggest either depleted battery or extremely high temperature that would suggest the step down in the nearest future. But in this particular situation we've got also green and red LED underneath, and it also, I guess it symbolizes great battery life or low driver temperature, but it doesn't say anything about this in the manual, so I don't know if it's the pre-order edition of the manual and they will improve something in this one, but I missed some information about low voltage protection also in this manual. So Armytek, I don't know what have you done in here. About the low voltage protection, I got some information about the Nietzsche edition that it missed low voltage protection. That is not true. Mine piece actually does exhibit the low voltage protection when the battery reaches 2.6 volts, if I'm correct, and the same goes through Wizard V4. 2.6 volts, which is a bit low, but it won't actually damage the Leon battery. I guess it should be like 2.7, 2.8 volts, but 2.6 it's a lower margin. That is actually okay for the Leon battery. But from 2.9 volts actually the Wizard steps down to Firefly 1, which is the lowest mode, so it actually signalizes you that you should probably replace the battery. What can I say to you guys? The Wizard V4 actually has solved the problem of overheating the head, because as you probably remember or you notice it yourself, the Wizard V3 actually got pretty easily overheated because the temperature sensor was calibrated for 65 degrees Celsius, I believe, so you could actually harm yourself by holding the head too long. And in this V3 we have temperature sensor calibrated for 55 degrees, so it's 10 degrees lower, and it actually steps down when it reaches this 55 degrees. So the flashlight's never getting too hot to handle, which is probably nice, but on the other hand, the step down occurs a bit, sooner. So, yeah, guys, that's probably it for now. I would like to show you some beam shots outside. See you soon. Flashlight enthusiast again with Wizard C2 Pro or Wizard V4. So this is, I guess, main 1, main 2, main 3. 1, 2, 3 for turbo output. Turbo 2 and Turbo 3, extremely bright for a flashlight this size, especially for a headlamp. The beam is nice and diffused, and actually there is no defined hotspot, there's just pure flood which illuminates like everything in front of you. The beam angle is also quite wide, which is expected for tire eye optics. And on this Turbo 3 we've got over 2300 lumens, of course not 1000, it's 2330 to be more exact. And actually the beam is holding the brightness still because it's boost driver, so no matter of the battery discharge level, it should actually boost the current to achieve this brightness. But in the case of Wizards, it's like stepped boost, so depending on the level of the battery charge, you actually get a set amount of brightness levels. When the battery is about 3.7 volts, you actually don't have access to the highest modes anymore. Okay, it started actually to step down, as you can probably see on the video. It's stepping down to 605 lumens to actually extend the runtime, because it's a headlamp. You would like to have very long runtime on this, but still on this brightness you can, I don't know, hike, run or bike with any major discomfort. So, but if you need this higher brightness, just hold the side switch and you get the full brightness again, and it steps down because it has intelligent temperature control, and with this smart LED indicator it actually shows the battery is still very good, but to prevent overheating you will step down. Okay guys, so Firefly, very dim but with extremely low runtime. Main 3, main 1, main 2, main 3. and Turbo 3, Turbo 1, Turbo 2, Turbo 3. Alright guys, that's it for today's review. I really enjoyed working with this Wizard C2 Pro and reviewing it. As you could see in this review, I was pleased with all the features they improved, and the user experience of this flashlight will be obsolete. I highly recommend getting you this Wizard C2 Pro. If you already have the V3 version, you won't be disappointed with these improvements, and if you don't have the Wizard already, I really suggest exchanging your headlamp for this Wizard C2 Pro. You won't be disappointed. That's it for today guys. I'm Flashlight Enthusiast, and I would highly suggest subscribing to my channel because more and more reviews are going to appear here. Click the thumbs up, click the like button, leave the comment, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.